Hello everyone, my name is Vicky, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are here for the very first time. Today I'm going to be showing you how to move objects anywhere with cheats, OMSP, and a couple of sneaky little things I found online as well which should help you. So keep watching and I hope you will pick up some really cool tips and tricks for decorating and cluttering your sim houses. So the very first thing that is basic is the Alt key. This is the same on Macs and PCs. You can select any object you like and then press Alt on your keyboard, and it means that things don't then snap to the grid like it's doing here. You'll find that you can place objects anywhere. So with the Alt key, you then get freedom to put things anywhere you want, including rotating with more options. So normally you can do it on the 45-degree angle like this. With the Alt key, you can then rotate freely as well as put it wherever you like. So that's the first little tip, the Alt key. Brilliant. The next thing is the Move Objects On cheat. This isn't even a cheat, in my opinion. It's essential for building, because let me show you what happens when you don't have the cheat on. Everything is restricted to the squares that it's in. So this lamp, for example, takes up quite a lot of real estate. It takes up one of these big squares, four of the little squares, if you want to look at it like that. You can obviously use the Alt key to move it around a little bit freely, but it's really restrictive on where you can put it because you need to have all that space around it. So for example, I can't put it over here because it just won't fit. This plant is similar, although it's got a smaller footprint. Again, we can't really move it to exactly where we want it. So to fix this, you need the cheat, Move Objects On. Bring up the cheat bar. I'm putting testing cheats enabled true. Bring up the cheat bar again and then Move Objects On. Now you can move things freely. So let's say we want to move this mirror. We can press the Alt key and move it anywhere we want. And then with Move Objects On, we actually, look, we can move it literally anywhere. Should we want it in the middle of the bed, we can put it in the middle of the bed. This lamp, we press it, we can now put it in the corner, which is fine because we want it to be there and it doesn't. We don't need to necessarily use the Alt key to move it. We can put it in the corner and snap to grid, that's fine. But here's where the magic happens, because now this plant, which without Move Object Sheets wouldn't go anywhere, we can put it anywhere. Oh look, we can put it there and actually make it like a plant lamp. It's kind of cool. Or we could put the plant, pressing the Alt key, right next to the bed or right next to the bookcase, and then maybe move the mirror out of the bed. So we can again angle it to whatever angle we want and actually pop it in the corner of the room. If you did want to turn this cheat off, you need to put in Move Objects Off in the cheat bar. You don't need to put in Testing Cheats Enabled True in there again. And normally I wouldn't even bother turning these off, but I did for the purposes of this video, just so the next bit makes sense. Here you will see I've put in this lovely wall lighting lantern thing and this picture, which I'd quite like the wall lantern to actually go somewhere other than snapping where it's going. So let's put on the Move Objects On cheat, and you will see that we can now layer these objects. So we could move these up and down, and we can now occupy essentially the same spot as that painting. So now it looks much better. We can also overlay windows, which we couldn't do before either. I mean, you could put the painting over the window should you wish to. Bit silly. And there we go, we've now got items all the way along the wall. So if we now wanted to put an extra window in, we can, because although it's occupying the same wall space as the lanterns, it will now let us put it in there, which it wouldn't without the cheat. Okay, so moving over here to the bookshelves, you see this one here. Again, we can't overlap items particularly, so Move Objects On again will mean we can overlap, and we can put things wherever we want. Like we could make this taller, for example. We could make it look like we've got a taller bookcase. It basically means things aren't going to snap to the grid, which just makes things so much easier. I couldn't get this any closer to the chest of drawers because of the restrictions. So with Move Objects On and the Alt key, I can now put this nice and close to there, and it just looks a lot better. Same with over here, I can move the backpack. I couldn't get that any closer either. So now with Move Objects On and Alt key, I can just put that at the bottom of the bed. Let's put the books at the bottom of the bed as well. And just for fun, let's put a gnome there too, because why not? So there we go. The rug, again, as an example, this would normally snap to a grid. Let's just say this isn't big enough and we'll make another one. So we'll make another one and pop it next to it. Now with without the cheat, as you can see, it just puts this little gap in between it. You can obviously overlap them should you wish to, but you can just slowly move it with the Alt key, and then you can bridge the gap between, oh, this case hasn't done very well, but you get my point. Or you could have it at a slight angle, which I'm sure people with OCD are not going to like, but I quite like doing this in The Sims actually. Quite like putting things at little angles because I think it makes it look a bit more real. Again, I'd have to do that better, but you get the general gist. Now is where it gets good. Have you heard of the OMSP, the One More Slot Please package? This is brilliant. Let me show you. It is a weird checkerboardy looking item here. You have to put it in your package files in your mods folder. So if you haven't got that set up, there's another video that I've done on how to set that up. So this is a package file, so it doesn't get installed like the normal Sims 3 packs. So this is a little checkerboard item which is invisible when you actually press play. So don't worry about the fact that it looks weird. I use this in all my builds, and if you've seen any of my recent speed builds, you will definitely have seen me use this. Let me give you an example. So this chest of drawers over here, you can only get 2 items on the top of it because of how the slots are set up. So you see, you can either put it there or there. So I've put a set of books there, and then I've got this perfume set there. That's the only place you can put the items. One More Slot Please is literally giving more slots, and we can move things wherever we want. So let's say we want this perfume more in the corner. We can't do that. But with this, you pop it on the One More Slot Please, and then you have to press the Control and Shift item together, and it brings up this new menu, and you can then change the height of it. This is a bit of a faff, I'm not going to lie, but let's put it up to 1 meter. Press the Alt key, and by magic, look, you can put it anywhere you want. So if I put it there, this might actually be the right height, but I think it might be slightly too tall. So if I just press Control and Shift again, down 1 centimeter, down 1 centimeter. There we go, perfect. Now I've added another slot to the top of the chest of drawers. So now I can put more things on the top of that chest. So this is found in the surfaces and under miscellaneous. It looks like this little post thing. So, I mean, when I'm doing builds, I tend to just have a few kicking around because I'm going to use them over and over and over. So let's say we now want to move the books over a bit. We can put it on the One More Slot Please package, move it up 1 meter, and then we can pop it in the middle. Perfect. And now we can put the gym towels over here. We can put them again at any angle we want on this One More Slot Please package. Control and Shift, up 1 meter. I think it was then down 2 centimeters, I think it was. Move it over here. Oh, okay, let's put it down another centimeter. There we go. So now, okay, it's not the most pretty, but you get my point in that we've now utilised that chest of drawers much, much better, and we've put more things on it. While we're on the subject of this, let's play cluttering up the bookshelf. I do this a lot, and it's fun. So this bookshelf is great, but could argue that it's a bit empty. So I found this little Zachary Zombo pencil holder. We can pop him on there, and we can move that up. Move this over using the Alt key. It's far too high, but we can then change it to the height of the shelf. Like I said, it is a bit faffy, I'm not going to lie, and it is a bit fiddly, but you'll soon get the hang of it. And there you go, I've just added something random to the shelf. And, there's extra books there, so I could do the same there. Or I could just press the Alt key and just chuck them at the bottom of the bookcase. It just makes things so much more free and easier to decorate. Let's move over to one of my favourite places to clutter, the kitchen. Right, you might know what's coming here, but I do have a little extra sneaky thing for you. Okay, let's just put another one of these in just so we've got some more space to clutter. I haven't got any money. Hold on. Good old mother load. Right. So obviously the same tricks apply here, but I've got a new sneaky thing for you. This is the Mensure barbecue size thingy. I think on the Sims resource or somewhere. I can't really remember. I'll link it all down below as well so you can find it. But this was created for a barbecue set, and it is the perfect height for kitchen cupboards or bathroom cupboards. So these don't disappear when you go into live mode. So be aware that if you do put this in, if you don't want to see the post, you need to hide it. I've got some extra clutter here to put on the top. Now, as you know, that when you try and put things on the top, it will snap again to just the middle, usually, of the kitchen counter. Sometimes you can put it in slightly different places. But for example, here we've got the knives just sitting in the middle. So you pop it on the top of this little post. Again, you can rotate it wherever you want. Press the Alt key and then you can place it wherever you want. And it's so simple because it's the right height already and you don't have to faff around with that one more slot please package. So again, this is in miscellaneous surfaces and it's just one of these. It's this Mensure barbecue time thingy. And then you can clutter up your kitchen top with things that aren't going to snap into one place, and you can actually put them a bit closer together and just make it look a bit more realistic, to be honest. Now just be aware, for some bizarre reason, certain items can't go on top of this little post thing. So for example, the fish bowl and the hot beverage maker, that won't go on the top. I don't know whether it's because they're interactive items as opposed to being decorative items. So for those, you will have to use the one more slot please package. So for example, you can chuck the beverage maker on the top of that, size it up, and then move it over here. So for my next magic trick, I'm going to show you an invisible shelf, which is over here. Oh, hang on. No, we've got two of these as well. These are also the Mensure barbecue time thingies that were created. So there's two more sizes. This one's quite good for coffee tables. I haven't really found a use for this one, if I'm totally honest with you. But they're there and they're set heights. So use them if you want to. And here is my invisible shelf. This is from Around the Sims, as is most of my stuff. Now, this is actually in white at the moment, but you can have it in invisible as well. But I'm just going to have it in white just to show you. But if you click on it, you can have it in invisible and white. Invisible is more challenging because when you put it down, you literally can't see it. So I'd practice with the white one first. So put the item on the shelf. So let's do that and that, for example. And then here, you literally just drag it. Use the Alt key and drag it up and down like you would a normal shelf. So here, I love doing this. I put things on top of the fridge. So if you drag it and then move the Alt key to, it does snap, it will snap to a degree, but you can then move it. Obviously the white one is not ideal, but there you go, you can still use it. Or you can use the invisible one and literally you've got floating items, which is really cool. The one thing with this one, like I said, is although you can move it up and down, it does snap to these spaces here. So if you want exact placement, again, use the one more slot please checkerboard doodah. Oh, by the way, this Mensure thing as well, like I mentioned, works really well for bathroom tops as well, because they're obviously the same counters. So if you see my last video, which is a student house, they've got an awful lot of clutter in the bathroom. So again, it's just really good. You can put toothpaste clutter and products and all sorts of stuff, and you can just move it around in the same way, and then you've got a really cluttered up bathroom as well. So I'm just going to show you a couple of other things. We're nearly finished now. So the great thing about the one more slot please package is that you can add more items to surfaces that should already have items, like the chest of drawers and the kitchen cabinets. Something like this doesn't have any slots on top to place anything. So I downloaded this little remote control from Around the Sims again, and as you can see, we can't put it anywhere. So again, we use the one more slot please package and we can then put it in places where it shouldn't be. So if we place it correctly, I'm not going to bother right now, but when we've placed that correctly and it disappears, you'll then have the remote control actually on the top of the TV cabinet, which is very cool. Another little trick with MoveObjects on is that you can layer items as well. So these little orchid vases, really cute. And if you were to spin it around a little bit and then put them on top of each other, you'll end up with then essentially a fuller vase, if you like. So instead of that little couple of flowers, you can add on as many as you want to it and make it so it looks like a really full big vase of flowers. That's quite a kind of cool little trick. And finally, while we're on the subject of plants, I'm going to whiz outside and show you just one more quick thing with the MoveObjects. Isn't it annoying how trees, again, take up quite a lot of real estate? With the MoveObjects on cheat, you can alt and put things directly round the tree, so it just makes it look a little bit more realistic than it's snapping half a mile away from the tree. And again, you can do things like, I don't know, you could put the tree in the bushes, or you could then put the flowers in the bushes to make it look like the flowers are then coming from that particular bush. And it just makes your landscaping and just your general decorating, just so creative, and you can do so much with it. So that is it. I'm going to wrap up my video there. I really hope you've enjoyed this. All the links to all the extra slot items are going to be down in the description below. Please let me know if you found this video useful. I really hope you have, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thanks so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you could like the video and if you could subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to hit the bell icon, you'll receive updates of when I upload a new video. And obviously, please share with your friends if you enjoyed it. Thanks very much. See you in the next one.